Hello friends, and welcome to this cozy corner of my apartment. Today I have a very interesting topic for you that is especially relevant if you struggle with procrastination, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like everything is too much, which, if I'm being really honest, is kind of like a scheme in my life. And I go through these feelings a lot. So just know that you're not alone. Just know that what you're going through is a completely normal human experience and you're not wrong. There's nothing abnormal about you. We all go through our struggling phases. We all have our ups and downs, and if it weren't for the downs, where would the ups be? You know? So today I have come to a drastic realization that I'm not sure I've ever had before, because sometimes you realize something and you're just not able to put it to work. You're not able to kind of make it come true, and it kind of slips out of your head again, and you remember it time and again, and someday eventually you have grown enough to be able to make it work, make it come true. But today I've realized something that I'm not sure I have ever seen in this way before. So buckle up and let's get started. If you are feeling overwhelmed, what in essence is that actually? Like if you return to your body, if you come back to your body with like a deep breath, how exactly does it feel to be overwhelmed? Like, what are the sensations? What are the associations in your mind? How do your thoughts feel? How does your head feel in general? How does your body feel? For me personally, it always comes back to being held down, like being pressed to the floor and like with great force and unable to move, unable to speak. Now, funnily, the word for depression comes from Latin origin, where a similar adjective originally meant to be held down with great force, like in combat, for example. I find this very interesting because depression is like a big pile of all of these feelings all together all of the time. A great darkness, a great hole that you can fall into. These struggles that we experience are not necessarily depression. They are just like symptoms of a possible depression that every normal human being goes through. With depression just being all of these symptoms kind of piled up in like a huge stack of emotion. Now, if you're being held down, what is not possible for you is to express how you feel, to express what you need, what you crave in this moment, to express your own will. You are powerless and you are robbed of the possibility to show up to your integrity in a way. You're robbed of the possibility to take your standpoint and stand up for your rights, stand up for your needs, your cravings, in essence. So when you feel overwhelmed in your life, what is a way you could escape from this feeling? Is there a way that you could escape from these feelings? And when I say escape, I don't essentially mean run away, drain them out, and like shove them to the back of our heads and forget about it. I really rather mean diving deep into this emotion and looking at it from a new perspective, giving it the possibility to resolve in peace. It's not about wanting to escape. It's more about making space for resolve and healing. Oh, the sun hits my face very beautifully. It feels so warm the past days. Spring is really right around the river bend. What I have found in my morning journaling today, actually, so in the morning I tend to write my feelings, my thoughts that just occur on some pages, come into a flow just before the day starts. And today in my writing there appeared this thought: overwhelm is often, for me personally, is often just a sign of me not listening to my body, to my needs. So I am the one being held down, pressed down with force, while simultaneously I am also the one pressing myself down all at once. It's like the person on the floor being robbed of power, robbed of integrity, is like my deepest needs, my heart center, the wishes, the dreams, the visions for my life, the deep knowing of what is right and what is good for me. And the person on top, pushing down, is like my programming, childhood wounds perhaps, feelings of I should, I must, I really have to. It's like an inner conflict of what I think I am supposed to do versus what I actually crave, what I actually truly, deeply desire to do. And overwhelm happens in these moments where this part, this programming, these outer expectations win over our deepest core and press down on it, saying like, shut up, you have no right to speak here. It is this and so forth that we have to accomplish, that we have to work on, that we have to get through. So overwhelm is not really this situation and that situation is just too much for me, I cannot take it. It really is this expectation that I have for myself in this situation is drowning out my core beliefs about the person I am and the person I want to be in this situation. And then there's this feeling of disempowerment because this programming, you deeply feel inside of your body, this programming is not who you truly are. You deeply know this. If you go into your body, if you go into your heart, you can find the truth about this, that all of these expectations that come from outside are not really the person you are. The person you are is in your heart. The person you are is your dreams, your visions, what feels truly right to you. And if you feel that this programming wins, the direct translation of this is like the outer world, all the people criticizing you, all the people making you small, have finally won over your inner greatness, your inner shine, your inner light. And this is what overwhelm actually is. So if you want to step up, step out of this overwhelm, of this struggle of being choked and held down by all of these programs that you did not even choose for your life, it's not, what is tempting to do is go on social media, endlessly scroll yourself to complete oblivion, watch a Netflix series and like escape into a different world where all of this doesn't matter. You know, there's so many things you could possibly do to kind of disassociate from this situation, to kind of escape. While your body is still laying there, being held down, you are just actively deciding with your mind, okay, we're leaving this situation. We're out of this. This will not help with this overwhelming situation. it will reoccur and reoccur and reoccur. And if it's not the same situation triggering this overwhelm, it will be another one. It certainly, I can give you a signed contract of ensuring you that certainly another situation will come triggering this overwhelm again and again and again. If you keep disassociating from it and saying, I cannot take this side, I cannot take this feeling, I'm out of it. This is not the solution. What we want to do is evaluate if we really want this programming to win, if we really want to let this happen. Because this is essentially, this is an assault to your heart, to your core. Letting your programming, these outer expectations weighing on you, letting these things win over your visions and dreams is an act of utter self-hatred. And this is hard to accept, and this is hard to see for yourself. But you are essentially saying, I am not worth it to live my dreams. I'm not worth being allowed to live my dreams. What other people are saying might just be true. It is a form of disbelieving in yourself. It is a form of making yourself small. And really, actually, you are choosing the sides of all of these people criticizing you, of all of these people not believing in you. You are actually not taking your side of saying, no, you know what? You might believe this, and it is great if you know about your life that you don't want to do things the way I do them. That's great. That's just knowing yourself. But I know myself too, and I am going to do this. You know, this is the attitude we need. And what we truly need to practice is to silence these critics that are in the outer world, but just have gotten their way into our brains because it's what we have been hearing since we were little tiny children. So what we can do is practice integrity, self-love, and courage. If you feel overwhelmed, think about the situation, the trigger that has kind of opened the gateway for this feeling to rise up inside of yourself. Trace this situation back to situations you might know from your childhood. Reveal the patterns that you might find. Is there a group of triggering moments, who are all slightly similar in shape and story, where you can truly say, well, I see where this is going, kind of, and practice detaching from this. Practice acknowledging yourself and your truth over these outer experiences, because most of the time these people making you small, they do not even mean bad. And that's kind of the heartbreaking point, they do not even want you to suffer truly. They just don't want to suffer themselves, and because they are so unhappy with their lives or so unfulfilled, they kind of need to build these constructs of talking people down to kind of lift themselves up. So most of the time, it's just your greatness, it's just your courage that frightens them or that makes them be disappointed with their own lives and their own choices. What these feelings of overwhelm are actually saying to you is that you are not properly listening. You are not properly listening to your core beliefs, to your heart, to your dreams, desires, wishes, to the things you know to be true about yourself. If you were listening to these things better, they would have been on guard, they would have been prepared for any outer criticism to come, and they would have gone, come here. But when you are not listening, you are making these visions fade, and they are very easy for these external factors to bring down. The brighter these visions shine, the more you involve them into your daily life, the more you gather the courage to actually act, speak, think, live on them every moment of your life. The larger they grow, the more they shine, the less they are, fragile enough to be held down, the less you will be overwhelmed. This is the essence of all of this. So what I can say to you, what I can tell you, try to induce these visions that you know to be true. And I'm not talking about visions like a university degree or, things like that. I'm talking about visions about the way you want to lead your life that go way beyond these things. Visions about what you know to be true about yourself. It's not about the university degree. It might be about how you get to it, how you reach it, what kind of person you are. Indulge it into every single day. Create small habits for yourself that mirror, kind of picture this greater vision in like a smaller version in your everyday life. Keep this flame up. Keep this light shining. This way, your heart, your inner core, your soul will be prepared for the criticism, and it will be able to shine through it. If you let this vision fade, there's no real light that you can, take the side of. You will be more likely to take the side of the critics, to take the side of your childhood programming, to take the side of so on and so forth. If there is a great light shining, if there's passion, if there is love shining and radiating this beautiful light over here, it is so easy to take the side. And it is so easy to dismiss these critical voices, to dismiss these harsh comments, to dismiss everything that is being put against you. Because you say, well, why would I change up to your side? What beauty is there you can offer to me? There's nothing that tempts me to go to this side. What reason do I have to go to this side if there's this beautiful light glowing over there, Contribute to this light shining with everything you do in every day. That's my advice for you today. Have a great time. Sorry, I'm going to add this little part because I feel like I have not really quite brought to one specific point what you can actually do. We have established that overwhelm is your expectations winning over your dreams and visions. And that what overwhelm needs from you is listening to these visions Because if you would have listened to these visions, you would have fueled them with life, fueled them with love, so they would have been stronger and could have been able to hold up against these outer expectations. And this really kind of is the critical point of overwhelm. So if you find yourself in a situation of overwhelm, take a moment, take a breath, go into your body and reevaluate what you feel in your heart. What are the qualities of the person you truly are and you truly want to be? And how are they inhibited by these expectations that, you rather feel in your head more than you feel in your heart? And then make an active choice to value and respect these feelings of the heart, these visions of the soul, higher than you value these thoughts that come from external programming, that come from your childhood, your upbringing, criticism, habits that you just taken over from your school time or whatever it may be for you, trauma perhaps. And have like a little toolkit, like a little repertoire of strategies for indulging yourself with these feelings that are congruent to this greater vision that you have. I cannot give you examples here because this is very personal to everyone. If this greater vision of you involves confidence and involves speaking your truth, you might have a toolkit full of practices that reconnect you with your own truth, or that practice speaking your truth, or like an affirmation, for example, or whatever. And open up this toolkit in these situations. In these situations when you have recentered to what you truly want in this situation, what you want to embody in this moment of life. Open up your toolkit, indulge yourself with these beautiful feelings of this greater vision being alive, and through that you will fuel this flame. You will give back the power, give back the strength to this person, to your dreams, to your visions lying on the floor. So you are actually empowering them. You are giving them back their integrity and their strength so they can rise and kind of win back over these outer expectations. So I highly recommend creating a little emergency toolkit for yourself, where there are practices within that deeply reconnect you with your true purpose. And in these moments where you feel overwhelmed, just remember to deeply think about the side you want to choose. There's the side of the light, and there's the side of your programming, the criticism, which is in essence all an illusion, because the only thing that counts is the truth you hold about your life, the things your soul so deeply knows, because these are the reasons you came here into this life, to experience this kind of vision. And what the outer world says is just like challenges, just like levels you have to overcome. You don't want to be a challenge to yourself, a hurdle to yourself. You want to be the one consistently and lovingly and full of support, believing in your own vision. Choose that for yourself. This is what I wanted to say. Now, I hope you're having a great time. I hope that you find great growth, great strength and courage within yourself. And I wish you all the best for your journey, all the best for your visions and dreams. And I hope we're seeing soon again. Have a great time.